What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you for tuning in to Faccis Cinema, where we make mediocrity fantastic. But today I wanted to do a video and I wanted to just talk about the relationship between Halloween 3 Season of the Witch and Halloween Ends. And you guys might be thinking they don't really have anything to do with one another, really, except for being weird and out there. Well, that's my point exactly. Halloween 3 released back in 1982 after the hit of Halloween 2. Michael Myers was dead. There was no more Boogeyman. We had to move on to something else, and they wanted to dive into John Carpenter's anthology series, and that's the route that Halloween was supposed to take. Obviously, when Halloween 3 was released, it was not a favorite amongst fans. People were very confused. They were wondering, where the hell is Michael Myers? I don't go to a Halloween movie to watch witchcraft and an old man trying to kill little kids. I just don't get it. And obviously, the fact that they put Halloween in the title kind of, disrupted, audiences. You went in thinking that we were going to get Michael Myers. It had Halloween 3, following up Halloween 2. Which showed us Michael Myers burning in Haddonfield Memorial. And what we got was an evil man, an evil creator who was inventing these masks with powers beyond our realm of capability, using Stonehenge to somehow kill and rot little kids' heads once they wore the mask, and that jingle played and they clicked that switch. That was not what we wanted as Halloween fans back in the day. Obviously, I wasn't alive, but for those that were, this is not what they expected. And I think that holds true for Halloween Ends as well. Yes, Halloween 3 Season of the Witch wasn't wrapping up a trilogy. It wasn't the concluding, film in a saga like Halloween Ends was. And I get that. But Halloween Ends was going for different. It was going for unique. And, each one of these movies, 2018, Kills and Ends, each is a different kind of a story within this trilogy. I don't think any of them really flow together that well as a group. I think individually they work. Together they do not, in my opinion. And you guys could think that Kills was a great follow-up to 2018. I kind of disagree. I think Kills went entirely too far in what the character of Michael Myers actually was. I think Halloween Ends brought it more back around to being that mysterious, character, not on screen that much, not used as much, kind of just using the creepiness and the eeriness of the Michael Myers aura, kind of like in the original, there was just a presence. Michael wasn't always on screen, but he was always there, you know what I mean? And I think that's what Halloween Ends did. Michael wasn't always on screen, but you could feel him from the beginning of this movie to the end. It just felt like Michael was there the entire runtime, even though he wasn't on screen doing the killings. And I know that's a big downfall for most people. I know most people do not want anybody else killing people in a Halloween movie. I know, I get it. But if they're going to give us a fantastic story, which I think Halloween Ends delivered, even if you hate the movie, you can't say the story was that bad. I thought the story was great. It gave us a character to get invested in that you wanted to know more about, because that character was so mysterious and had reflections of a young Michael from '78. So, yes, they should have introduced Corey Cunningham in a previous movie in this trilogy. They didn't, unfortunately, so we have to deal with that. But the character they did give us was enticing. It really did work. It drawed you in. You wanted to see how this story developed. Even Dave McCrae, the Halloween purist that he is, loved the Corey Cunningham storyline. It really was. You weren't supposed to like it, but you couldn't help it. It just drew you in. Did it belong in a Halloween movie with Michael Myers? Probably not. Would it have worked better as an anthology series with Michael Myers in the background with Corey as the main focus? Yes, but that's not the direction that David Gordon Green chose to go. And I think, when Tommy Lee Wallace made Halloween 3, was he expecting the fans to like it? Probably not. You know, he did his own thing. He brought his own spin to what Halloween, this rendition of Halloween, was to him. And look, over all these years, over 40 plus years ago, Halloween 3 is a fan favorite. It has definitely gained a huge following. They got the masks, they got the shirts, they got all the merch. People have grown to love it. Even though when it came out, most people hated it. And I think that's what's going to happen to Halloween Ends. I think it's not very well loved right now. I know box office totals, it took a complete nosedive. It made 41 plus in its first weekend and made a whopping 8 million in its second weekend. Is Peacock hurting it? Yes. Is word of mouth hurting it? Yes. It didn't reach anywhere near the projections that I thought, and that probably, you know, the studios thought it was going to reach. I really thought it was going to make 100 million. I don't think it's going to get anywhere close to 100 million. It just, the word of mouth spread like wildfire, and that is like the biggest thing in a marketing campaign, in getting, you know, your brand recognition out there. Word of mouth. It's free. It can be great, but it can be damning as well. And I think it destroyed Halloween Ends' box office returns. I think people got out there and said this movie is a piece of shit. It's not what we want in a Halloween movie. Michael Myers isn't even in it. They got a copycat killer. And, you know, all those flashbacks from the Friday the 13th franchise came back. You know, after Friday the 13th Part 4, the final chapter, we got a new beginning, which was not Jason. It was Roy. And it was not well received. They felt like the audience felt duped. And I know that's how the fans of Halloween feel right now, that they were duped. They did not get what they were promised from David Gordon Green in this final act of this trilogy. They got a complete new storyline with Michael sprinkled in at the end and a little bit throughout, you know, kind of felt shoehorned in there at the end. So I get it. I really, really do. I get it. It's not what we wanted. It's not what most Halloween fans wanted. It's different. It's unique, but we all knew this going in. We knew this wasn't going to be Michael Myers movie based. We knew it. We knew there was a copycat. It was shown right in front of us, and we knew that it was going to be Corey. And obviously, if you went in with too high of expectations, you went in expecting a Myers movie, you were let down. And like I said, I understand, but the breadcrumbs were right in front of you. It led you to this. You should have known this wasn't going to be a Michael Myers movie. The same way that kind of Halloween 3 kind of duped us into thinking, oh man, maybe Myers is back. But when you watch, you know, any of that, you know, marketing campaign, trailers or whatever, TV spots, they don't ever show Michael Myers, and they say the night no one comes home. So that should have, you know, boom, wait a minute, the night he came home. Wait a minute, the night no one comes home. Right there in the simple line of dialogue, you know, you should have figured Michael wasn't in that movie. And expecting him to be and finding out he wasn't, you're heartbroken. But if you watch the movie as it is, it's a damn good Halloween movie. It has Halloween atmosphere. It involves masks. It has a sick villain who's even worse than Michael Myers because he's trying to kill kids all over the world and he doesn't even care whatsoever. So, I mean, that's pretty sick and twisted. So I agree. And then in this movie, in Halloween Ends, yes, Michael Myers isn't in it for the most part. Yes, we got another killer doing the killing, but he is taking over the persona of Michael. He is becoming Michael Myers because Michael Myers is just a name that was put on the shape. And like they say, evil changes shape. We get it. I know. I'm a huge Halloween fan, obviously. I'm a huge Michael Myers fan. I love it. But eventually, we should have figured Michael Myers would have moved on. It would have moved past the body. He was aging. He was 65 years old. He was through a million battles, shot, stabbed, whatever else, beaten to a pulp. It was bound to happen. He was bound to just rot away. And eventually, that was what was going to happen. I think he went down to that sewer, and if Corey wouldn't have found him, he would have rotted away and died, and that would have been his prison in his tomb. But Corey found him, kind of got him rejuvenated a little bit. He saw the evil in Corey, and then Corey led Doug down to that sewer where Michael got his kill and was kind of regaining his strength and regaining his mojo to come back. Should it have been a bigger return with a more big body count? Probably. But this is what we got. We got to accept it. They're not going back. We got the petition out there. Over 3,000 signatures. It means nothing. It means nothing. If it helps you guys sleep better at night if you signed it, that is amazing. I'm happy for you. But it's going to do nothing. And am I shitting on you for signing it? No, that's your choice. And if it makes you feel better inside, that's great. But it's not going to do anything. It's not going to get this movie reshot. It is what it is. We got a Corey Cunningham story with Michael Myers sprinkled in. Michael did play a significant role in this movie. He just wasn't in it as much as people would have liked. I mean, even myself, I love the movie. I put it right up there in probably the top 3 or 4 in the franchise. Do I think a little bit more Michael Myers should have been in this movie? Yes, I do. But it wasn't. And we got to respect what David Gordon Green wanted to do with this trilogy. It was his movie. There were 3 different movies with 3 different types of stories for 3 different types of fans, in my opinion. The first movie, 2018, that was more along the lines of a refresher of 78, giving us kind of more of that old school Myers. Yes, I've heard people say it doesn't feel like a Halloween movie. I think it's a Halloween movie, but I think it's more of you get the kills, you get a little bit of a story, you get kind of the same old Michael Myers slasher flick. That's what 2018 was to me. Then we go to Kills. That's more of a Friday the 13th style flick, where there's little to no story, and we get Myers doing what he does best, killing people in brutally amazing ways. And then we get to Ends. A deep story, a great story, but lacking on the Myers and the slasher aesthetic. And, you know, when you go back to this, it's kind of a pick your poison. If you don't like this one, you can pick this one. If you want a brutal slasher, you pick Kills. If you want a little bit of the same old, you go 2018. If you want something different with a great story, you go to Ends. So pretty much it's whatever mood you're in that day is the movie in this trilogy you're going to pick. And I think that's kind of how it was back in the day. 78, you're getting a unique slasher, you know, mystery and mystique. And then in Halloween 2, you're getting more of a brutal Jason-style Michael Myers doing his killing in some pretty badass ways. And then Halloween 3, we're getting that unique story that takes it a different path. And none of them are wrong. None of that. It's all personal preference. All of this is, is objective. It's you can't make people like what they can't like. I mean, it's just people's tastes. Some people like different flavors, and some people like Halloween 3, some people like Halloween Ends, some people like both, like myself. But the connection is there, and you know, I think that the first trilogy, the first 1, 2, and 3 line up fairly well with the last 3 that we got. So if you don't like it, that's fine. You got a whole other plethora of movies to dive into, and I am totally cool with that. If you don't like Ends, you got 12 other flavors. If you don't like Ends and you don't like Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, you got 11 other flavors. So just, you know, pick what you want, watch what you want, but don't take away from, you know, the artistry that we've gotten with these movies. Halloween 3 was a great flick. It was a unique take on the Halloween franchise. And Halloween Ends, another unique twist. So it is what it is at this point. A lot of similarities. I love them both. I'm a Halloween fan through and through, no matter what. If the movies are good or they're bad, I'm still a Halloween fan. I always will be. If you don't like any of those and you only like 78, go back to the classic, because it's always going to be there for you to enjoy. And you got to just, you know, respect the artistry and the work and the craftsmanship that these people have put in. Because David Gordon Green didn't go into this to shit on the Halloween franchise. Okay, he loves the franchise. It's a big inspiration. And I think that he delivered what he wanted to do. He gave us his vision 3 different ways. And, you know, if you didn't like one of his 3, go back to another one. I'm sure you'll like that one. And if you don't like any of them, like I said, go back to 78 and enjoy the classic, because it's always going to be there. But those are my thoughts on Halloween 3 and Halloween Ends. You know, and those blue fonts from Halloween 3 and Ends, beautiful. The soundtrack, I got mixed vibes. I got Halloween 3 plus Halloween 4 Return of Michael Myers vibes in the soundtrack. So I just love it. I'm an all-around Halloween Ends lover. I'm not going to change. I just can't get the movie out of my brain, and I don't know if I'm alone here. Hopefully there's some people out there that can't get this movie out of their head for good reasons, not for the bad. But those are my thoughts. Hopefully you enjoyed what I had to say. Please hit the like button on the video. It means the world to me. If you're new here, click the subscribe. Really appreciate it. And if you're looking to support me and the mediocrity that I bring to the YouTube, links are below to my Patreon, Buy Me a Coffee, and my YouTube membership. All support is greatly appreciated. Love you guys. Have a great Halloween. And definitely tune in Wednesday night, the 26th, where I will be doing my Halloween franchise rankings, including Halloween Ends, with my boy James and my other boy Nick from the Lost River Drive-In. I can't wait to hang out with you guys and dive into those rankings. Hopefully you'll be there showing up, and I will see you in the next one. And please, 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 give Halloween Ends another chance. Don't shit on it. I think you guys will come around to it eventually. I just think it's taking a little bit of time. But I'm going to leave you with a delicious kill montage. Michael Myers getting his ass beat in the streets of Haddonfield. The mob attack. Love you guys. Have a scary day.